Beloved, welcome. If these words have reached you today, it's not by accident. They've found you because your heart is tired from holding weight that was never meant to rest on your shoulders alone. You know that quiet struggle well. You wake up, eyes barely open, and your thoughts are already racing. Before your feet touch the floor, your mind is bargaining with the day ahead. You replay old conversations, imagine future outcomes, planning 10 steps ahead, and brace yourself for storms that haven't even formed yet. The coffee brews, the room is still, but inside you, everything feels loud and restless. Scripture speaks gently into moments like this. Come to me, all who are weary and burdened, and I will give you rest. Matthew 11:28. Before you try to fix what's broken or control what's uncertain, pause here, breathe, listen, be still, and know that I am God. Psalm 46:10. This moment is an invitation to lay your burdens down and remember you were never meant to carry them alone. God is not asking you to run until you collapse. He is not demanding that you figure everything out or outrun your fear. What he asks is far quieter and far deeper. He asks you to believe, not in 10 backup plans or endless mental rehearsals, but in one sacred truth. God has already gone ahead of you and prepared a way. Chosen ones, your faith is not imaginary, and it is never ignored. God honors it, even when it feels small. But we often misunderstand what a way looks like. We expect clarity, timelines, step-by-step instructions. Yet Scripture reminds us, trust in the Lord with all your heart and lean not on your own understanding. Proverbs 3-5. God's direction rarely flatters logic. It often arrives as a quiet conviction that makes no sense on paper, a door opened through someone you never considered, or a sudden loss of desire for what once consumed you. Sometimes the way is an inner restraint, a gentle resistance that keeps you from walking into harm while everything looks fine on the surface. I will make a way in the wilderness and rivers in the desert. Isaiah 43:19. Faith, as Hebrews tells us, is confidence in what we hope for, not proof of what we see. When you stop forcing outcomes, you discover that God has been guiding your steps all along. Pause and really let this sink in. Imagine if you spent your entire day consciously instructing your heart when to beat, directing your blood where to flow, reminding your lungs to inhale and exhale. You wouldn't survive the effort. Your body would shut down under the weight of that kind of control. Yet this is exactly how life begins to feel when we try to manage what only God was meant to coordinate. Not because you're foolish or careless, but because pressure quietly convinces you that constant motion equals security. As if staying tense, alert, and endlessly busy can prevent things from falling apart. If you've lived there, you recognize it immediately. It's the exhausting habit of micromanaging time, outcomes, and connections that only God can align. On the surface, it looks admirable, responsible, strong, but inside, it feels like suffocating, like wearing a smile while carrying a backpack filled with bricks you never agreed to lift. Scripture speaks gently into this when it says, "Unless the Lord builds the house, the builders labor in vain." Psalm 127:1. There is a kind of labor that drains life instead of producing it. Here's the truth that needs to land softly but firmly. Doing more does not automatically mean you are being faithful. Sometimes doing too much is simply fear dressed in productivity. Fear whispers, "If I don't control this, it won't work out." Fear insists, "If I don't rush, I'll lose what matters." Fear warns, "If I don't solve everything today, I'm not safe." And the hardest part is that these thoughts sound reasonable at first. They sound like wisdom, they sound like responsibility, they sound like maturity. But belief does not panic. Belief does not sprint in every direction. Belief wakes up and says, "God, I don't need the full picture. I need enough grace for today. The Lord's mercies are new every morning." Lamentations 3:22-23. Alignment in real life looks like steady movement without desperation. It doesn't mean neglecting responsibility or waiting passively for miracles. It means acting without feeling hunted by the future. The Lord will fight for you. You need only to be still. Exodus 14:14. There is action that flows from faith, and there is action driven by dread. They can look identical from the outside, but they leave very different marks on your soul. Faith-based action may still bring fatigue, but it doesn't corrode you from within. Dread-driven action leaves even success feeling fragile because you're afraid it could disappear at any moment. This is what dread often looks like: sending one more message that compromises your peace, over-explaining yourself because silence feels threatening, refreshing screens, numbers, and updates as if certainty is hiding behind a button, pressuring people who already heard you simply because waiting feels unbearable. If any of this feels familiar, it's not condemnation, it's an invitation. Because that frantic striving isn't alignment. It's anxiety trying to build a future out of smoke, and God is gently calling you into a calmer, steadier way to live. My dear friend, if you've been living in that constant tension for long enough, something inside you begins to quietly collapse. Not because you're weak, but because your soul was never designed to run the universe. God did not create you to carry the weight of figuring out every outcome. The burden of how was never assigned to you. Your role is not how. Your role is yes. Your role is trust. And this is why belief matters so deeply. Belief keeps your spirit open instead of guarded. It keeps your heart soft and your awareness clear. It sharpens your discernment so that when God's guidance comes, you can recognize it. Scripture reminds us, the sheep listen to his voice. He calls his own by name and leads them. John 10:3. But when you're frantic, you drown that voice out. You rush past it. You analyze it away. You label it impractical or unrealistic, and then you wonder why you feel constantly depleted. The world has trained us to live as if every day is an emergency meeting with the future, as if our highest goal is to prevent anything from ever going wrong. But the safest place you will ever stand is not inside control. It's inside obedience, inside the step God is actually asking you to take. In all your ways acknowledge Him, and He will make your paths straight. Proverbs 3-6. Here's the part that often surprises us. That step is usually smaller than our ego expects. Sometimes it's rest, even when your mind argues you haven't earned it. Sometimes it's choosing silence and not responding right away. Sometimes it's cleaning your space until it feels breathable again, reading a single page until the noise in your head settles, taking one brave step towards something you feel unqualified for, or forgiving quietly, not to excuse what happened, but to let your heart release its grip. And yes, sometimes God doesn't reveal the full destination yet, not because you're behind, not because you've failed, but because He is preparing something that would be damaged if you tried to control it too soon. It is the Lord who goes before you. Deuteronomy 31-8. Like a gift meant to be opened at the right time, some blessings lose their beauty when we keep shaking the box. So tomorrow morning, before you reach for your phone, before you reach for worry or mental noise, try this simple prayer. God, thank you for waking me up. I believe you are leading me. Give me today's wisdom. Show me today's step. And if someone you love has been carrying too much in their mind, share this with them. Because sometimes, relief begins the moment we stop carrying what was never ours to hold. Because belief is not a feeling that comes and goes. It's not a phrase you whisper in the morning and forget the moment your phone lights up with something heavy. Belief is a posture. It's a way of standing inside your life, especially when the day hasn't confirmed God's plan yet. And there will be days like that. Days when you pray at sunrise and by noon the questions are still unanswered. The bill is still unpaid. The decision still feels tangled. The relationship still sits in that uncomfortable gray space. And that familiar pull returns, urging you to grip tighter, move faster, think harder, do more. This is where faith stops being abstract and becomes alive. It's like holding a compass while walking through thick fog. You can't see the whole road, but you don't need to. You only need to keep moving in the true direction. Scripture says, we walk by faith, not by sight. 2 Corinthians 5-7. Faith doesn't demand visibility, it chooses direction. So what does belief look like while life is still unfolding? It looks like refusing to let panic be the loudest voice in the room. It looks like choosing one clean, intentional step instead of 10 frantic ones. It looks like learning the difference between motion and progress. Because there is a kind of movement that drains you and leaves nothing behind but exhaustion. And there is another kind of movement, steady and quiet, that feels almost simple, yet somehow opens doors you couldn't force open. Belief looks practical. It looks like sending one clear, grounded message instead of 5 emotionally charged ones. It looks like pausing before you respond, letting your words come from steadiness instead of urgency. It looks like logging off for an hour and noticing your shoulders drop, your breath slow, as if your nervous system has been waiting for permission to feel safe. Belief looks like doing what belongs to you today and releasing what you cannot reach from here. Do not worry about tomorrow, for tomorrow will worry about itself. Matthew 6:34. And hear this clearly. Aligned action is not passive, it's disciplined. It takes discipline to stop feeding spirals that feel familiar. It takes discipline to pray and then not take the prayer back 5 minutes later with anxious thoughts. It takes discipline to move through your day without treating every unknown as a threat. God has not given us a spirit of fear, but of power, love, and a sound mind. 2 Timothy 1-7. Some of the strongest faith you will ever live out looks like this, staying steady while the answer is still loading. Not because you're pretending nothing hurts, not because you're numb, but because you trust the one who sees the full picture when you can only see the next step. The steps of a good person are ordered by the Lord, Psalm 37-23. Ordered doesn't mean rushed. It means guided. So here's a rhythm you can actually live, not just admire. When you wake up, begin simply. God, thank you for waking me up. I believe you are leading me. Give me today's insight. Show me today's step. That's enough. Then, in the middle of the day, when pressure starts climbing into your chest again, choose one small action that matches peace, not a dramatic overhaul, one small thing. It might be making the one call you've been avoiding. It might be stepping outside for 2 minutes and letting the air reset your body. It might be choosing silence instead of reacting. At night, practice a different ending. God, I did what I could today. I release what I cannot control. Guard my mind while I sleep, because sleep itself is an act of faith. Rest is not a reward you earn by worrying enough. Rest is how you declare, God is still God even when I'm not holding everything. In peace, I will lie down and sleep. For you alone, Lord, make me dwell in safety. Psalm 4-8. Something else begins to happen when you live this way. You become easier to guide, not because God was ever distant, but because you're no longer drowning out his direction with constant noise. Your discernment sharpens, your timing becomes cleaner, your yes becomes stronger. And one day, you'll look back and realize the way was never a perfect map. It was daily guidance, daily protection, daily shaping. Quiet steps that slowly stacked into something miraculous. So if you feel like you're standing in fog right now, don't demand the entire horizon. Hold the compass. Take the step. Let belief be your one job today. God has never needed you to architect the outcome. He has only asked you to stay close enough to be led. Thank you for walking this journey with me. If this message spoke to your heart, share it with someone who might need it. And subscribe if you'd like to stay connected to reflections meant to bring peace, clarity, and quiet strength. You're not walking this path alone, and your journey truly matters.